To Atelic.ai and hear what Atelic is all about. Welcome to the stage.
Great. Thank you guys so much for coming out today. I'm extremely excited to tell you a little bit about Atelic. So my name is Ben Owen. I'm the CEO and founder, and we are a team of industry experts who are building the future of AI autonomy. Now, I want to be absolutely clear. The reality in enterprise today is that the AI domains are being blocked and being prevented due to the fact that the data is not available as necessary. So the OT environments, that live living data on the edge, the SCADA systems, the OSI Pis, the Avivas, all of that's sitting there, that data is not coming across and being useful along with the IT data. And the IT data, think about your traditional ERP environments and think about that world as well. And due to that, it's causing a huge amount of cost. And let's be honest, the vendors are happy with it because they're locking in their customers, and they have locked them in for the last 15 to 20 years. And at the same time, the labor is going up, and the cost of finding even expertise to help manage some of these antiquated systems is coming up as well, which is increasing the operations cost and the operations expenditures exponentially. And a very small study that McKinsey did was that more than 100 million in potential savings, and that was just a mid-size electronics company, guy. That's not even looking at the billion-dollar organizations that we're focused on. So let me tell you a little bit about Atelic. We started this year here in the UAE, proudly UAE based, for lots of good reasons, because there's lots of potential in this country. We raised $450K out of our own pockets in order to put this together. And over the summer, we launched 3 products. One focused on energy, one focused on manufacturing and building management systems, etc., and one focused on healthcare. The response was amazing. And we launched in early September, and we already have 32 live opportunities today. We've already signed 2 MOUs, one with a very large company over my shoulder there, along with some big players here within the region as well. Why? Because they're looking at it and going, this is actually the next generation. This is actually what is going to change the future of AI autonomy, and this is why it's coming up here. But our problem is we looked at it and we said, wow, we've got the expertise. I'll show you the leaders on the team later, and you're going to go, Ben, how'd you get those guys? But at the same time, it's unscalable, and we need to be able to better deal with this, and also at the same time scale much larger than just looking at it from an industry ROI perspective. And the reason is when we talk to all these customers and when we talk to these large initiatives, we found out there were some unifying messages, and it's not about the AI, and it's not about the AI giving them value for their systems. It's about how to help them reach a level of autonomy, how to help them actually autonomize those processes using the intelligence of AI and not just necessarily looking at it. And the data is holding them back. Being able to properly simulate in a digital twin is holding them back. Being able to actually look at the old legacy systems of records is holding them back. And obviously the integrated infrastructure is doing the same. And therefore, we built out what we call Atelic Studio. And what this is, it's a nice integration layer on the bottom that's going to connect both the IT and the OT worlds, regardless of the source of data. And we're on track right now to have over 2,000 connections available by the middle of next year. At the same time, have a full integration platform to enrich and leverage that data in a way to set up the ontology in a smart way so that the AI can actually get value out of it. And by doing that, we're going to help to reach the autonomy. And that's actually the end goal, and that's actually what these customers are looking to achieve, right? Of course, doing the connected foundation, that's table stakes, right? You've got to get to the data. Having your little chat bot help you out, having your models give you recommendations, that's great, and it's adding value, and it does help reduce some of that overhead cost of your workforce. But at the same time, that's not actually reaching the goal that it needs to be. So getting to the point where the automation is smart enough using AI to actually start making proper recommendations is also key. But now being able to actually go out and do simulations real time, to go out and do that discovery real time in an intelligent manner, just like the guy in the field would do, just like the operating engineer, just like the person working in the manufacturing center, or just like the healthcare professional, the doctor with 20 years of expertise under their belt is going to be able to do, is then going to help you reach that full autonomy level. And by the way, I actually don't think you should autonomize everything, because I do think there's certain things every organization should hold back to make human in the loop important, because whether it's high risk, high cost, or whatever else. That risk may be something you as an organization will have to understand and determine. So if we take a look at this is Plainview, this is our oil and gas solution, and this is focused on the drilling industry. We actually built out this situation. It's more than 20 agents autonomizing across the drilling process for an offshore oil platform. Now, as we'll see here, taking a look at that, it's doing the typical things, pulling back that live WITSIML data, in this case, the IoT data from the edge, in order to come back and obviously bring that data together to make some value out of it. But guess what? In the traditional oil drilling platform, there's 20 engineers doing this sort of work right now. Now, this is 20 agents doing that work. And on top of that, there's daily drilling reports, like you'll see here on the screen, that are coming in, which are them making acknowledgments. And at the same time, when they see an error come up, someone else has to go in and then figure out where the problem is and resolve it. But with our army of agents in this case, they fully autonomize that part of the process. Now, I'll be honest though, this is still level 2, because this is still a human in the loop, double checking it. Why? Because we're not at that stage yet where we can go in and push the button. But at the same time, that same human, using natural language processing, can go in and say, hey, based on these 20 sets of data coming in, based on the drilling reports, based on that IT and OT data, help me understand where the problem is, how it is, and help me reduce that time to resolution, which is extremely expensive and costly. When that rig is down for an hour, it could be more than $1 million in cost for that organization. So let's be honest, this is what we're focused on, is not just looking at it from a drilling perspective, because that's one MVP, that's one example that we've created to help show what's possible, but to help explain what's doing that. And for us, we actually need to start thinking again, how are we going to reach level 3? How are we going to reach level 4? And that's by building out this moat by having intelligent agentic digital twins. I'm looking at this as headless, guys. I'm not, even though it's a nice little picture of one, I don't want it to look like a Call of Duty 3D rendering of what's there, but I want to use the latest in physics informed neural networks and PMNL in order to actually create a simulation environment so that the agent, when necessary, will go out and do the simulations on their own. That isn't just for industry, by the way. That could be applied for almost anything. And that's where the magic is going to happen, because by having this platform available, by having the safety and the auditability there as well, we can now take it up that level, and we can move it to the next level on the chart, right? We can move it from level 2 to level 3 to level 4 to actual real autonomy, because that's what's holding it back today. And that's what's holding back AI overall. And on top of that, guess what? Now that you've got OT operations being covered, you've got that oil and gas, or maybe the healthcare professional in the hospital being helped out and those sort of things. But at the same time, let's start looking at the other parts of the enterprise, guys, because my strong belief is that when you have the data, when you have the process, when you have the smart, intelligent way of simulating and doing things, you can now actually move into other areas. So let's take the example of, I don't know, a cookie factory. And guess what? The cookie factory has an IoT sensor on the edge saying, hey, pump number 36 is going to overheat next week. We should do something about it. Well, guess what? Automatically, I want to go in and have my procurement agent go out and find, make sure, do I have the parts in stock in order to fix pump number 36? Automatically, I want to go, well, actually, it's not in stock. Let's go out and negotiate with the supplier to bring it in and make sure it's there next week. And automatically, I want to be able to deal with that on scale and being able to ensure that my maintenance team is there on the day I need it to be there. Guys, this isn't just applicable for the cookie factory. This is applicable for the entire enterprise, and that is what we're trying to build in Atelic. So we're building out the rails right now, and that is we have a agentic framework foundation, which is Atelic Studio, which is now working and trying to land these first flagship customers. Like I said, 12 customers, more than 200K each, ticket value right now in the pipeline, which we're closing over 32 total ones. But the reality is those are flagships, so we can learn, so we can make it better. And at the same time, we need to launch and make this a full-fledged platform, provide it as platform as a service, and use the partners in order to help us build it and scale it, because that's actually how we're going to go from tens of customers to thousands of customers over the next 2 to 3 years. And then on the top of that, it's building a marketplace on top so that we're going to encourage the bigger, wider ecosystem, everyone in this room and everyone in the AI community to come in and build on us. Why? Because when they do, we're going to bring them the value, the security, the safety, the sovereignty, all those things they need for their customers, but more importantly, we're going to give them the place that they can sell their product as well. And so by doing that, we're creating the thought leadership, We're obviously targeting those flagships because some of these companies actually drive the entire country, by the way. So if you win one or two of them, and those are the ones we're talking to, by the way, you will win a lot more there. And at the same time, activating the channel, building out that education, and building out the other parts that are there. Very simply put, we're open. We're fully looking at it from the autonomous side. These actually aren't our competitors. They really are complementary, right? And the reality is that what we're trying to do is work with these guys, work across all the silos, work across all those different data sets, because that's in the end how we're going to actually achieve autonomy for them. We'll skip that. Real quick around the team, very simply put, 5 PhDs on that screen. Amr Awadallah, former founder of Cloudera, exited 5.2 billion. Chris Cooper, right down the road at AIQ, ran Adnox AI Center, and former CTOs of Bosch, double PhDs focused on medical, and good folks there, and myself having lots of years in IT. Very simply put though, we need $4 million in order to accomplish that. We're going to do that by raising a safe, and in the same process, we're going to use part of that for the R&D, which is going to take us for the next 5 years. Part of that will be to stabilize what's there, get the customers in, and we should have a positive ROI within the first 12 months. So, we'd really like for you to come along for the ride, and excited to talk more.